Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. I hope everybody is staying safe and has made it through the hurricane okay. We still got a little bit of storm over here, but fortunately, at least over by my neck of the woods, it's been rainy for a very long time. But we really haven't gotten too much in the way of crazy winds or anything like that. So I hope that you guys are safe as well. I hope that just hope that all is well in your world. Anyways, happy Friday to you. It is indeed Friday, and we are here to say some good stuff about us, and ultimately to be able to change up our experience. The fact is that when the natural disaster comes on through, as indeed it has affected many people thus far. But as it comes on through, you definitely see different sorts of attitudes. You have people who are panicking. You also have people who are running a hurricane party, and so it really brings into focus the fact that it's not what happens, it's how do we respond to what happens that really matters, that really defines our experience. And so everything from fear to to laughing about it. But the fact is that it's not going to change the weather. It's definitely going to change the way that we feel about the weather. And as we change the way that we feel about the weather, or about anything else in our lives, really, it shapes our experience. So let's have some fun today. Let's pull a card off the top of the deck. I'm going to ask you if you are the affirmation on the card, and we are going to respond out loud together. I am that affirmation. As we do this, we are giving ourselves the tools that we need in order to live better lives and ultimately to shape our experiences. It being Friday, we are also going to go through the cards for the week and see how we got here. And so just let's have some fun right now. But before I do that, let me just see who is here. Good morning, Pepper. Pepper's got the Pinterest board link to 11,000 monthly views so far on that Pinterest board. Very excited about that. Good morning, Shauna. Good morning. Let's see. Yeah, we are praying everybody is okay as well, Shauna. Good morning, Dan from Soggy Buford and Robert from sunny Daytona Beach. I'm glad, especially that you are doing all right, Robert. I know that you're definitely closer to this crazy weather than most of my viewers are. Good morning to let's see here. Good morning to Susan and also to Chanton over at the sorority house. What a cool name for that place. Yes, indeed. I've always wanted to visit sorority houses. I can now. They just wouldn't let me in. Let's see here. All right, guys. So let's get to it. Let's pull a card off the top of the deck. I'm going to ask you if you are the affirmation on the card, and we are going to respond out loud together. I am that affirmation. So let's see. Let's grab that card and say that today I am thriving. I am thriving. I flourish and grow in my environment. So I am thriving. I flourish and grow in my environment. Are you thriving? You are thriving. You flourish and grow in your environment. I'm going to write that down in the comments, and I encourage you to do the same thing. So I am thriving. I flourish and grow in my environment. All right. So indeed, I am thriving, and you are as well. And part of that is really that I just intentionally set myself up to have an environment where I can succeed. Yesterday I had a whole lot of work to do at my desk, and my desk was not all that clean. It was a bit of a creative mess. And so the first thing that I did instead of getting right into work is I cleaned off my desk. I set myself up for success. I removed all the distractions from my desk. I removed all the distractions from my world, and I got focused on the things that were most important, and I started to do those things. And I had a very productive day yesterday. And but the fact is that one of the primary reasons it was so productive was that I set my environment up for success. When I lived on Maui, I was chatting with a very famous watercolor artist. We were considering representing his work at the gallery, and so he had kind of come over to talk to us about his work, and basically to make the picture as to why the gallery should carry his art. And I remember just asking him, I said, what is some advice that you would have, that you would give for artists who are, would like to reach the level of success that you've reached? Because at the time, he was doing very, very well for himself, and and he gave me a piece of advice that I've never forgotten. And he said, always have your workspace set up. And what he meant was that he said when I have my workspace set up, and then I always have the ability to sit down and to get to my work, to get to painting. He's like, if it's not set up, then if inspiration strikes, then I have to get the place all set up before I get over to the actual work, and then I lose the inspiration while I'm in the process of setting up the space to take advantage of the inspiration. He said he told me, he said, my most lucrative work is work that I've done when I was inspired. But you can't count on inspiration if you're an artist. You have to work every day at it. You have to make art every single day, whether you feel inspired or not. And in the process of making that art, you will get some that is really inspired work. And that work will have an outsized impact on your income. It will have an outsized impact on your results. And so I really took that to heart. And so ever since then, I've always had my creative space set up. And when my creative space starts to get a little bit out of control, I will take some time and actually get it all cleaned up and get it back to a place where, when inspiration strikes, that I can immediately get to doing what I'm inspired to do. And so I am thriving, and I flourish and grow in my environment. And in order to do so, one of the biggest things is that I set myself up for success. I set my environment up so I can catch the inspiration when it comes. And of course, then I do the rest of the work by just sitting in front of the computer and working, whether I feel inspired to work or not. And so I love the grapes. These are some wine grapes. It looks like that Pepper has over here on the card. If anybody has ever grown grapes, you know that grapes are some seriously masochistic plants. They just like to be abused. They flourish and thrive in an abusive environment. The more that you ignore these things and aren't very nice to them, the more grapes you're going to get. And I just think that that's a really interesting metaphor for this, because in the end, whether our environment is perfect or not, the fact is that we have to make our environment to be what is good for us. So the arborist who grows the grapes creates circumstances for the grapes where the grapes are most likely to grow and to thrive. But the grapes themselves don't actually need to they don't need to be coddled. Grapes are not the things that need to be coddled. Grapes will flourish and grow. They flourish and they grow in neglect, which is a very interesting choice for this card, because in the end, our conditions will never be perfect. We can set ourselves up to have perfect conditions. We can do our best to have perfect conditions, but in the end, we still need to get up every day and do the work in order to thrive, in order to flourish and to grow in our environment. We also need to understand what it takes for us to flourish and grow, and to really just to give ourselves that stuff. The grapes require some very aggressive pruning in order to produce the most grapes. If you've ever seen somebody prune a vineyard, then or I guess the first time that I ever saw somebody prune a vineyard, man, I thought that they had accidentally killed their vineyard. I was like, there's no way this is coming back. That these plants have been massacred. They looked like they were doing so well, and now they look like they've been massacred. And the guy who owned the vineyard said, "No, you just trust the process. Come back in about a week, and I will show you the results of the pruning." And I did. I came back in a week, and I looked at the results of the pruning, and the results of the pruning were that the grapes had come back stronger than ever before. And so, part of us flourishing and growing in our environment is understanding what needs to be pruned, is understanding what needs to be cut out in order for our fruit to develop most fully. So I am thriving today. You are thriving as well, and we flourish and grow in our environment. All right, so let's see what you guys have to say about that. I noticed that the comments have been going, quite a few different comments. So let's see. Yeah, so Susan says the internet is buffering this morning. It doesn't shock me, Susan. The yeah, it doesn't shock me at all. The internet has been running a little bit slow lately because of that. Sure. Let's see here. Oh, Pepper has some internet update for it. What do you got for us, Pepper?
So Jeff put out a newsletter at 9 a.m. today. Apparently, Windstream calls are not going in or out, and the internet should be able to work. It says we never lost power, but Windstream phones are not working at this time. The internet is working. Windstream does not have an estimated repair schedule.
All right. So if you didn't hear Pepper, then so Windstream phones are not working at this time. The internet is working, as is evident by me being on it right now. But there is no ETA on the fix, and that's not surprising. Probably won't get an ETA until after the storm passes. Let's see here. Yes, Pepper.
And despite all the funk and the rain and everything, and the purpose of having cards, which are the grapes which thrive in neglect and abuse, is to show that despite, no matter how bad your situation is, you can still find a way to thrive.
Oh, what a great metaphor, Pepper. So Pepper, in case you didn't hear that, so Pepper said that the metaphor that she was thinking of when she made these cards is that they do thrive in neglect and abuse, and the metaphor here is that no matter how bad the situation is, that we can always find a way to thrive. Let's see here. All right, so let's see. All right, okay. So yeah, so and then Pepper says even in tough times we can thrive. And indeed, there was a lot of people who are going to have some tough times here for a little while, especially if they were affected by this storm. And the fact is that they and we also can thrive even in this tough environment. So let's see what the so let's go and take a look at the cards for the week and see how we got here, since it is Friday. So of course today we affirmed that we are thriving, and how could we thrive except that we are secure, which is the card from yesterday, that we feel safe and comfortable with ourselves, and that how can we be that, or how can we experience that security except that we feel present, and that we claim our power here and now. Of course, it's easy for us to be present and to claim our power here and now when we are passionate about what we do, which is what we affirmed on Tuesday, that we fervently pursue what we love. And of course, the reasons that we can pursue what we love is because we are bold, and that we recognize opportunity and move decisively. So that's the cards for the week, that we are bold, and that our boldness empowers us to be passionate, and that our passion encourages us to be present, and that presence gives us a sense of security, and that security helps us to thrive. And indeed, we are thriving, which makes us awesome people, because we are going into Awesome Saturday tomorrow. And so let's affirm that we are awesome and recognize our inherent value and worth. I'm very excited for Awesome Saturday. As always, it's my Sabbath. I'm going to take the day off completely on Awesome Saturday and hang out with awesome people and eat awesome food in awesome places, do awesome things, just generally be an awesome person and hang around with other awesome people. So I sincerely hope that I get to see some of you awesome people on Awesome Saturday. But for right now, let's go through our day with an understanding that we are thriving, and that we flourish and grow in our environment. And whether our environment is perfect conditions for us to thrive, or whether our environment needs to be modified a little bit in order for us to thrive, let's just do what it takes in order to flourish and grow. And let's understand that just like the grapes, which thrive and flourish in on neglect and abuse, we also can take the circumstances of our lives, no matter what they are, and turn them into something beautiful. All right, so good morning to everybody who is here once again. Looks like Donna has come on in from the HOA. I hope that you weathered the storm okay, Donna. Good morning to Tammy as well, and also to Silk. Silk, I hope that your properties in Florida are yeah, I hope that they are unaffected by this storm, and that your place over in St. Pete is doing all right. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys on tomorrow at 11 a.m. We're going to do an awesome Saturday service, which ought to be a lot of fun. And then also then again on Monday at 9 a.m. I'm going to come back with another wake up call. Until we meet again, my beautiful friends, stay dry, stay safe, And yeah, if you have any trees down or anything, just be really careful around that stuff. But yeah, otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your day. I am thriving, and you are as well. And so let's flourish and grow in our environments today. Until we meet again, I love you. I care about you. This is your daily and up to the moment reminder that you're worth it and that your life is worthy of living. And so let's live it to our absolute best. I'll talk to you guys on tomorrow at 11 a.m. Until then, aloha from paradise.